Hi, Irene. So beautiful to see your face. Okay, now I'm going to bring up my slides so I know what I'm talking about. Give me one moment. Get the tech things out of the way. No matter how many times I do this, I still am funky. Literally every week. Okay, and we want. Can someone pop a comment in the chat just to see if my chat will appear? Hello. Great. Can see that. Yes, Ari, love her eyes. Love this. Thank you. Amazing. So let's all begin. Starting off, I really want to just start to land into the space with a collective breath before we get on with the slides. I am going to have a disclaimer soon. I think my disclaimers are going to come before my disclaimer arrives. So if you see cats jumping up, that is part of my disclaimer. I do have cats. When I'm doing energy work, when I'm in the vortex, when I'm channeling, they will appear because they are energetic beings and they work with the frequency. So if you see a cat jump up, it's very normal and they're just supporting you on your journey. If you hear meows in the background, that's why. So that is one disclaimer. Okay, so let's arrive in this space. Everyone taking a beautiful deep breath in through the nose and exhaling. Yummy. Noticing your body as you arrive, noticing how you have landed in here, if there's any nerves, if there's any excitement, curiosity. Just taking a deep breath in again through the nose and exhaling with an audible sigh as you exhale, and just allowing any tension from the day to be released. And we're going to do one more breath. You may be at a different pace with your breath, and that is so fine. Taking another deep breath in and holding this one, and then exhaling. And just noticing how you're feeling after 3 breaths. How amazing is the breath to be able to shift or land back in the body. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Those that are watching live, thank you for being here live and receiving the live transmission. Those who are watching the replay, welcome, and thank you for taking the time out to watch the replay. So today is the Creator's Seat. What is the Creator's Seat? It is a workshop where you learn to be the conscious creator of your reality. Because whether you like it or not, you already are the creator of your reality. You just may be doing it unconsciously. So if you're doing it unconsciously, we're going to go into it further. However, if you're doing it unconsciously, chances are your wounds are creating your reality. When you do it from a conscious place, you learn how to use the universal laws to be able to create with alignment with the flow of the undercurrent of life. The universal laws, we can't see them. However, they're there. They've been there since the age of time. They've named different things. However, they've always been there. It's like a light switch. You turn a light switch on, you don't know, you can't see the energy. You can't see what's for creating this light to glow. However, you know that there's something there. The same with the universal laws. It's all energetics and it's principles that you can implement so that you can create the life that you desire. Would anyone like to create the life that they desire? Yes, yes. Me too. I feel like I'm constantly creating the life I desire, and then I'm like, oh, now I want to create this life. Anyone manifesting generator, like constantly shifting? If you know human design, like manifesting, I'm a Manny-Gen, which means I'm constantly shifting my reality. I'm constantly having identity shifts and becoming the next version of self. It's like a thing that we do as Manny-Gens. So if you know, you know. If you don't, look into your human design. So you can do it based off like your horoscopes. Anyway, we may go into side quests tonight. Is that okay? Yes, amazing. Cool. So let's go into some collective agreements. This is just for you to understand how you can show up today, for you to land and be comfortable know what the overall guidelines are. I don't like them to be rules. They're more here for you to get the most out of what you want. So show up for yourself today. Phone on do not disturb. Just give this 90 minutes to yourself. Lean into your edges. So if you feel like there's discomfort, if you feel like, oh, there's something there and I don't want to go into it, chances are there is so much growth available for you. My encouragement is you don't have to lean all the way in. Just lean in like 1% more. Just give it that little bit extra curiosity and I will guide you. We're not going to be doing too many deep processes today. Today's more about awareness. However, some things may surface that feel a little bit uncomfortable. You may not have met that part of yourself before. It may feel new. Things that are new are often uncomfortable. So anything, just lean in that 1% and know that you're supported. You're divinely guided and you're supported by me on this call. And you can always send me a message afterwards. So be honest with yourself, your wants, your needs and desires, no matter how big they feel. Honestly, like around at New Year's, I had like a girls' night. We did some manifestation woo-woo stuff. And one of my friends was like, I want to write this out, but it almost feels too big. I'm afraid that it's not going to happen. What if it doesn't happen by the end of the year? And like there's sometimes the courage is actually declaring what we want. And that's what the universe is waiting for, or God, source, spirit, whatever you like to call it, is waiting for you to actually declare, to be courageous enough to declare what you actually desire before it's presented to you. You can't receive what you don't want. It's like going to McDonald's and just standing there. And they're like, well, what do you want? You're like, I don't know what I desire. You give me something. It's like, well, can't give you something you don't know what you want, right? So be courageous enough to speak out your desires or write them down today. Like, even if it feels big, even if it's a 5-year, 10-year goal, be courageous enough to declare today that that's what you're after. Stay till the end. There's going to be multiple different activations, reflections throughout today. So I really encourage you to stay till the end, and you can also learn how I'm going to be able to support you on your next level if you so choose to. Participate through the call. So there'll be times where I'll ask for shares or your thoughts. This is a really great way for you to integrate. Sometimes we don't realize what's landed until we speak it out loud. This is called externally processing. And chances are 50% of you in this room are external processors, meaning you need to be able to speak it out loud before you actually process it. So sharing is not only is it for everyone to receive, it's also for you to be able to process what's landing for you. Ask the questions, pop them in the chat. I will have times where I'll say, does anyone have any questions? Then it's like an open forum for questions. But if you have a burning question and you don't want to forget it, just pop it in the chat and I will come back to it, or I'll reply with hot and heavy when I'm right there. Cool? So get the most out of tonight. Basically, all I want you to do is get the most out of tonight. You are investing your time, your energy into being here with me and everyone else today. Why not get the most out of it? Why not be super intentional, soak it up, and really go out of tonight with like this whole new understanding of life and how you can put these practices into play and what you want to be able to shift or create to be able to create the reality that you desire. Have your camera on, please. I want to connect with you. I want to see your face. Not calling anyone out. I want to be able to see the experience. Hello, she's here. Because sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to a wall, you know. It's nice to see, like I've been watching you guys. I've been watching like Amy being like interacting and receiving. Like this is the first time Amy and I have connected before. So it's really beautiful to be able to see her energy as well. And Nicole, you've got a beautiful, both Nicoles have beautiful energy. Everyone on here has beautiful energy. So I love connecting and seeing your face. So please keep your camera on. Also, when doing the processes, it's good to be able to just see how you're processing. Amazing. So it looks like we've got everyone from New Zealand. Yeah, shout out New Zealand. All my Australians aren't on the call. So Is it okay if I human? I was actually going to write out all the human things that I'll do. And I went back to write them in and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be human and I'm just going to leave it unfinished. Because sometimes as humans, we don't finish everything. And I thought it was I kind of laughed at myself. But anyway, one of the human things is I have cats. I'm a cat mom. They are needy. Sometimes they want cuddles. I've said that. So if they jump up, great. I may, is there a line on there? Someone's interesting. Can you guys see the yellow line on that? I did not do that. Great. So things may not be exactly as planned. I may go down side tangents. I may forget what I'm saying halfway through. If I'm channeling, I may pause, reflect. I may stop to take a breath. I may talk really fast. I may swear. What else? We may have tech issues. I've pretty much got everything up on the screen now, so I think we're good. Yeah, I am human. I am living, breathing, learning, growing, all of those things. And so if there's any times that I do a human thing, which is a great human errors. Oh, Amy drew it. I don't know how you did that. That's so great. So Amy's more tech savvy than I am. So yeah, just if I do any human, I'll probably just say, look at me being human. So just, is it okay if I can be a human? I don't have to be perfect all the time, just 99.9% of the time. Cool. Nicole got it. Okay, so I want to see who's here. So pop in the chat. Let's start the engagement in the chat. There's already a little bit, which I'm loving. So person one, if you feel like you're existing through life, you're unfulfilled, you're wanting to learn how to create life that has more joy. Person two, you can be more than one person too. So you can just pop in person one, person two, whatever's calling out to you. Person two, you feel blocked, you struggle to achieve your goals. Hi, Ricky. You struggle to receive your goals. You came because you love learning, you want to better your life and are ready to invest in working with me. Person four, you came because you love me. You know how great I am at working with the universal laws. Person four, thanks, love you, too. Person five, you want to step into your feminine power and create an epic life. Person five, yes. We love that. Love that. Women leading business through their feminine, chef's kiss. So we've got Nicole, person four, and person five. We've got Amy, person three. Yay, that's so great. And then we've got Nicole. What's Ari and Ricky? Just waiting to, you can go put your names down. That's so great.
I can't work this on my cell phone. So we're just gonna say it. Sorry,
Yes.
is that the one that I love you?
Yeah. Oh, four is you love me, but I'm
Oh.
guessing you just love me through all of them. Yeah.
And what are you?
I'm going with 11.
It's not a number.
What are we talking about?
He's just making up something. I don't
And making up his own numbers. I think Ricky
That's
is
one then. I'll go with the one.
5 and wants to step into his feminine power. Great. And so like this is really great to understand how you're arriving here and reflect on it when you're leaving. Like what is the wisdom that you've gained? Like some of the things we'll talk about, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that applies to this area of life and that applies to this area of life. So there'll be different things that we'll speak about that you'll already be aware of, but you didn't realize it landed in terms of like energetics as well. So it's really great to reflect on how you arrive and then how you leave, the knowledge and the wisdom that you're leaving with. Amazing. So now we're gonna, let's start with who the fuck is Bridgette Harris? So I'm Bridgette Harris. I am the Feminine Alchemist. What does Feminine Alchemist mean? Basically, it's a fancy name because it sounds really cool. And as well, It means that I help people transform. I help them shift their pain into their purpose, into their profit. I help women come home to themselves. I help women step out of the masculine hustle and come into a feminine-led way of business. Basically, feminine alchemy means I can take one thing and transform it into the next. So I really help women to identity shift. I do work with men as well, and predominantly women though. So I work with a very holistic approach using mindset work, energetic work, somatics work, as well as my channel, which is the spiritual aspect. And I'm just recently getting back into the styling work. So I used to actually be a stylist. So I would help people shift their state or their way of being through fashion. And I'm just recently getting back into that. It's something that hasn't launched yet. So you guys are one of the first to know. But that is another way. That's really how I'm going to be able to incorporate the physical aspect, because I like to work holistically. So I like to work with the 4 bodies so you can get true transformation. So this is who I am today. This is what I do. It's what lights me up. I absolutely love it. However, I didn't always have this path. I wasn't, I mean, I've had my soul gifts for a while. However, I wasn't in my purpose or leading for a long time. It took me a long path to get here. So my path started when I was 8 years old. That's little Bridgie. And I was run over by a motorbike. So I was riding on a push bike and I was hit by a motorbike. I was put in hospital. I was put on life support. I was in a coma for 3 days, and I was told that, well, my parents were told that I wasn't going to survive, and so they needed to say goodbye to me. I defied the odds. I decided I'm not done yet. I want to create my life, so I'm going to fight for this. And it was really that time where my spiritual gifts were activated. And I remember coming home, and as you can see, my face is very serious in that welcome home image. When I came home, I came home a different person. I understood that we could heal ourselves and we could change our lives. However, we were the only ones that had to do it. So I came home very serious. Like my sister was like, the person you were before hospital and the person you were afterwards was a very different person. You were very serious. And it did take a little bit of that childhood youth away. But since then, I've become obsessed with personal development, spirituality. My psychic gifts really activated through that time, though I wasn't really in control or aware of them. But I would basically see beings and see versions of myself. I've actually been able to visit myself and connect with myself through clairaudience. When I was in hospital, the future me, this was really weird, would travel, not really weird, but it's hard to explain, would travel back in time to the current hospital me. And I was the one that would tell myself that I was going to survive, that I had to keep going, that I had to fight. And so that was really where my first psychic clairs turned on. It was clairaudient, and I was hearing a future version of myself. Now, when I started studying Reiki was when I was going back to my past me. So I experienced it I experienced future me before future me experienced past me, if that makes sense. But I was able to experience both situations as the other versions, and it was mind-blowing when I did it. I was like, what? Like, it was cool. So that was like, it was one of the most challenging times of my life, and it was also a time where I was able to be activated and receive so much from it, which I believe that's what life is about. Like, our most challenging times are crucial times for transformation. If you've been through a challenging time and you've worked on yourself, you know, which I know a lot of you in here have done, you know the transformation that you can create from really being aware and intentional. That was little me. And then from there, I lived my life. I moved to Melbourne. And then I found myself in another situation where I was faced off with needing to create change in my life, where I was faced off with needing to heal myself again. So I went through, in between that age and this here, which is about 24, 25, I I was sexually abused, and from there I developed a drug habit. I ended up on methamphetamine. I was a daily user. I pretty much almost lost my soul. And again, I was faced off with this version of knowing that I could create my reality, knowing that if I changed like one little thing about myself, I could create differently for myself. I just had this like inner knowing that just because I was here, it didn't mean that I had to be there forever. And I knew that I could change it. Now, I know with a lot of programming around, particularly methamphetamine, it's that you don't use it once. Like once you've used it once, you're like, that's it, you're gone. And I'm proud to say I didn't listen to that, and I chose to create differently for myself, because if I had have believed that and had that as an internal belief, which when we go through one of the laws, you'll understand how that works. But because I didn't embody that as an internal belief, I was able to break out of it and I was able to heal. And so everything that I learned and used on my personal healing journey, I then went and studied so that I can give it to the world. So I can bring, like, alchemize my pain into my purpose and help the women that come into my world shift into who they're born to be. Because it was from my pain and from this time of addiction that really birthed the healer in me and the woman that's here to not play small, to help others like step into their purpose and power. So this was a massive journey. Like, it took years and multiple relapses, a lot of learnings, but that was what led me down to where I am today. So again, would not change it, though it was a challenging time. So this is where I am. So my journey began, well, it didn't begin, but part of my journey was learning neurolinguistics programming. So putting myself in rooms that really challenged my growth in the way that I saw the world. From there, I run events, I run retreats, I run workshops, I have programs that I support women, I support people in a one-on-one capacity as well. I have in the past run cacao ceremonies, and yeah, basically my purpose is just to help people, women, really come home to themselves. So I'm here to help heal the feminine wound, and I do believe that is working with both men and women. However, predominantly I serve women, and it's just the best feeling of women coming home to themselves. So this photo up here, yeah, Nicole's like, yes, been working with Nicole. She has come home to herself. This is a client up here, was a beautiful moment where she had just launched and come out as a sound healer. Now, she grew up in a very religious background where any sort of energetic work was seen as evil and all that programming, and she was able to step out and perform a sound healing journey. So it's like moments like that you just have, like, you do the work and you support like you on your journey of doing the work, and then to see you flourish and really step into what you're here to be is just like the best feeling. And I'm so grateful that I got that moment. I have that moment for multiple clients, pretty much all of my clients. However, I was lucky enough to be able to have this moment captured, which is pretty why I do what I do, as well as I love it, and I'm a geek for personal development. So that is me. And so let's get into the universal laws. First of all, let's all take a collective breath. Beautiful. Amazing. Sometimes it can be really heavy hearing other people's journeys, and or like you're like, whoa, that's like you've been through so much. And so it's really nice to, if you are noticing at any point through life where receiving others' transmissions is like you need to come home to self, always just beautiful collective breath. Okay. So what are the universal laws? So they're basically the operating systems of your reality. So universal laws, like I said previously, they're like the principles that run in the background that we don't know about unless we know about it. But it's how energy, consciousness, matter move and interact with the universe. It's how everything works together in harmony or out of harmony as well, because one of the universal laws is the law of balance. I'm not going to go into that today, but there needs to be both chaos and calm in order to have balance in the world. Just like a battery, it needs a positive and a negative to be able to function. The world needs that. So so the universal laws will run everything, basically. It's an undercurrent to everything. It's how we connect with all the bodies, with the physical body. Our physical body is made up predominantly of energy, of matter, energy, subatomic particles, which then make up the matter. So our physical body is connected into our energy body, which then connects into our emotional body, which then connects into our thoughts, our mental body. So the universal laws tie them all together through consciousness, through energetics, the subatomic particles that then form matter. So basically, it's the background. I'm like trying to think of an analogy. I like using an iPhone sometimes. It's like the circuit board that everything moves through, that we don't see it, but everything is functioning. So you don't see on here the circuit, but you know it's in there. You know, in order, you know that it's flowing, that it's running, that it's working in the background. It's got a question. Do you find horoscopes affect balance more? I'm a Libra. I always struggle to find balance between chaos and calm. I refer to myself as controlled chaos. So I think horoscopes, they are personality traits. So they work, they're not necessarily a part of the universal laws, but they work in tandem with. And each person, I think it's a part of our life. Our horoscopes will affect our life's paths, which then we create as an individual, we add to the collective consciousness, which then creates balance. So if you're someone that, which is very Libra thing, the chaos and the calm, you can either swing the pendulum one way, or you can swing the pendulum the other way, or you can find balance in between. That's a part of your journey as an individual being, but however, your experience will have a ripple effect on everyone else. And there will be a part of you reflected back out in the universe in terms of calm and chaos. Because when you look at nature, like New Zealand's just seen it with a place that is quite often a calm place to go to now has a lot of chaos. So we're going to go into that as one of the universal laws. But I think horoscopes, I think a part of the journey with horoscopes is learning to understand yourself better and work in alignment with your horoscope. So if you're someone that struggles between chaos and calm, like how do you find the center point of the pendulum? Next thing. Does that answer your question? Yeah, cool, thank you. So the 3 topics, and I love the questions. It's great too because it allows me to I love a little side tangent. If you're into horoscopes, look into your human design because it's it's a different level. It's really great. So the three universal laws that we're going to cover today is the law of attraction, which a lot of you, if you've watched The Secret, you'll be somewhat familiar with. However, they did not tell us that in order to have the law of attraction, we need the other laws to work in tandem. So the law of attraction, the law of vibration, and the law of correspondence, I find these the most effective 3 to implement into your life. Ari, you're going to see them kind of connected in working with NLP as well. And so these laws work together. They do not work separately. You can try and work with them separately. However, in order to get the best out of them, to work with them the most aligned way, I would say being aware, and you'll see them interweave anyway. You'll see parts of what I've spoken about on one will show up in another. Cool. So before we begin, actually, who's familiar with any of these laws? Just pop in the chat what laws you're familiar with. And then I realized I'm going to go back. There was a slide. The law of attraction, great. Have you seen the Secret. Have you watched The Secret? Yeah, amazing. Okay. There's something that I wanted to, a slide. I'm gonna go back on. I think it's this one. Here it is. We haven't done this slide yet. So no sevens allowed because 7 is comfort zone. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. We are not here to be comfortable. We're here for growth. So where are you currently at in your life with the life that you've created so far? So rate yourself out of 1 to 10. And again, you could be like me and constantly be shifting and growing in your life, and you might be unhappy with where you are, though there's a past version of you that is like, holy fuck, you've done so well, I'm so proud. You can hold both. That's the law of polarity. So you can be proud of where you are and also desiring more. So be honest with where you're at today. So 1 being I've been unconsciously living. Possibly you're in your pain body, meaning that you're in a lot of pain, anxiety, suffering with the victim mentality, which is like bad things happen to you. And if you're there, that is so fine because as humans, we need to experience that. So I've been there, and it's very normal to go through that. We just don't want to be there anymore if we are aware that we're there. And then 10 being I'm living my dream. Anything I want comes to me almost instantly. I'm a magnet for good things and I feel fulfilled with life. So rate yourself out of 1 to 10. And again, the first one, it's like unconsciously. You're not aware of it. So there's a difference between conscious and unconscious. 6, great, cool. Before I started with Bridgette, 3 currently, best testimonial, currently fluctuating between a 6 and a 10. Yeah. Nicole, yes. When Nicole started working with me, like a completely different person, like it's insane. She was very recently was a 3, now feeling like a 5 for a big mindset shift late last year. Amazing. I love that. So honesty and Ariane trying to figure out how to do it. Love the honesty, and it's so great to even see the growth, right? To be at a 3 and see that you're now at a 5. I'm drinking coconut water because it is hot on the Gold Coast. Okay. And 6, Ari, yes. Ricky, 7. No 7s allowed, sorry. The jester. We're not going into that today, but the jester is a role that we bear. I secured 2 very big things post this shift. So while Nicole and I were talking about this earlier, yes, energetics. I wonder if you're going to be able to see the law of the universal laws playing out in this. 8, great. 8 is great. We like 8. Okay, perfect. Let's settle back down. Go through this again. So the 3 universal laws that we're going over today, the law of attraction, the law of vibration, and the law of correspondence. If you want to take notes, if you want to take a photo, take a photo. If you do take a photo and post it, please tag me. It's great not only for myself, but it's also great to see your reflections. Great for my business and marketing. But it's also great to be able to see your reflections and connect in with you post call and be like, oh, this is what you were noticing through it. So, yay. So the universal laws, like I said previously, they do work with your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. That's why I like to work on this. This is what we call holistically. I like to work holistically when I am working with clients. Because when we really create change, we create it in the 4 bodies. So the universal laws are natural laws. They're connected into the universe, the big wide universe, as well as into that's the macro level, and then the micro level is our existence as humans and nature as well. So you'll see a lot of nature play out in you because it's all connected. They explain how your reality is created, why patterns are repeated, and how you can create life through your consciousness. So using universal laws is really becoming aware of what's playing out and how you can like consciously create with using them. So they're great to reflect as well as redirect or to create from as well. So we'll do a bit of both today in our processes. I've got a process for each universal law that we're going to do. Okay. Who is, pop in the chat what you've taken away from this so far. Commenting on I'm excited. Yeah. Amazing. I'm the creator of my reality. Yes. Amazing. Let's go. Amazing. Perfect. So the law of attraction, which is the one that was the secret was about, it is your thoughts and feelings are the creative force. So when a thought is thought, it is, so let me backtrack. There has been studies with like headgear and all that stuff to test the frequency of a thought. And when someone has a thought, it's actually the same frequency, the same speed, the same measurement of a laser beam. So when you have a thought, you are literally sending out a laser beam into the what I call the universal soup, the field. You can't see it, but you can feel it when you tune in. So basically, there is like this whole part of life that we don't see, but it is there. And when we have a thought, we're sending it out into that field. I'll call it the field. And so if you're constantly thinking a thought, you then attract that because you're like attracts like. So you then bring it back in. So what you're constantly focusing on, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, will grow and it will shape your reality. So if you're constantly thinking, I say, let's use dating, because I think dating is a really great example. So if you're constantly thinking like, oh, I really want a partner, but if you're actually thinking a lot about how you are alone, you're going to create that. You're going to bring that into your reality. If you're thinking about how you desire deeper intimacy with your partner, but you're always thinking about the things that they're doing wrong, then you're going to create that into your reality. So it's not about a surface level thinking. It is a deep unconscious. It works with the mental conditioning, which is like, is your mind are you trained to think positive thoughts, or are you ingrained in thinking negative thoughts? Because one of you'll have a positive or a negative mindset that just runs on autopilot. So if someone, what's a great way to look at this? So if someone does something, do you see like, oh, that person's shit? Or do you see like, oh, that person must be XYZ? Or if something happens to you, do you see the glass, it's like glass half full or the glass half empty? How do you see life? So the way you see life or your mental conditioning will affect the things that you attract, as well as your emotional baseline. So your emotional baseline is the set of emotions you feel on a regularly. So the emotions that you are regularly feeling is like your baseline. So for instance, if you're someone that's super happy all the time and you have moments of like deep gratitude and joy, you'll spike up, or something happens and you feel like sadness, but you'll always come back to that joy, that happiness, if that's your baseline. Whereas if you're someone that has a lot of unresolved anger and you haven't been able to process it or feel it yet, and it lives dormant, it's like it's simmering away in the pot, but you've kept shoving it down and you haven't processed it, your baseline will be anger. And you may have moments where you feel happiness, but then you'll come back to anger, or you'll go down and feel like resentment in order to come back into anger. So your emotional baseline is the emotion that you feel the most. That is your like baseline. basically. So your subconscious programming also affects the law of attraction. So you can consciously be like, I want a husband. However, if you're not working on your unconscious beliefs of I am not lovable, I am not worthy, I am not good enough for a husband, and I'm attracting fuckboys, hello being there, then that's what you're going to attract, right? So really working on your I don't feel like my brain and my tongue are on the same. The law of attraction is not working for my brain and my tongue right now. I don't keep up with my brain. Okay, so if you have those beliefs, the subconscious programming that has been created from the ages of 0 to 7 based off your experience or your wounds, then you will attract based off that. And it's attracting, that's when what we call unconsciously attracting. So if you want to become conscious, first you become conscious about your subconscious programs, about what's there, and then you start to work on them. So then you can consciously attract, because then you know, oh, this is here, this is blocking me, let's remove that. So then I know that can come in. Okay. So basically, to summarize all of that up, you attract your experience that are in harmony with your dominant state of awareness, your dominant state of being. I like to call this your energetic blueprint. It is the signature that you are. It's what people feel when they meet you, and they don't understand it unless they're super aware, but they'll either feel like, oh, that's a positive person or a negative person. They'll want to be attracted to you, or they want to be pushed away. They want to repel from you. So this is really good if you're wanting clients, if you're in business, to call in clients, to really focus on that mental conditioning. Are you giving off the energy of, are you attracting positive or are you attracting negative? Like, what is your state of being? Amazing. And so pay attention. This is a great way to focus, like be aware of what you're attracting, is paying attention to how you feel each day. Cultivate what you desire through visualization. So if you are desiring a husband, have a moment where you are doing something as simple as making your breakfast. Just close down your eyes, take a deep breath in, and visualize that there is someone in the kitchen with you cooking breakfast, and how wonderful it feels. Because the law of attraction also requires you to feel through your body. Yes, it's visualizing through your mind, but we're going to go onto it next, but it needs the law of vibration in order to actually attract it. So you have to think and feel at the same time. That's where we get heart-brain coherence. That's where we become a vibrational match. We call it in. So if you want to attract what you desire, practice it just in the small moments of your day, and think consciously, and feel what it would feel like to have that. If you've got big business goals and you're wanting to create big breathwork events for somebody, while you're standing there during your day doing whatever you're doing, just picture yourself standing up there and seeing however many people you're wanting, seeing them all on the mat, and you are guiding them, you are leading them. Feel how empowered you feel. And this is the same for yoga, for Pilates, got some business girlies in here. For Nicole, you're creating your new life, right? What do you want to feel each day? Like, you don't have to know specifically what it is, but is it the feeling of freedom and expansiveness and choice? So you get to create that by just tuning into it and just visualizing what that looks like and feel it. That's how we cultivate, we feel. Is this like, are you understand? Does that help with like really how it works? Yeah. So the law of attraction requires faith and trust. So once you've got clear on what it is you're wanting to attract, so you have to understand first what you want to attract, right? And then you feel it, you cultivate it. But once you're clear on it, you let it go. You trust that it's already coming. It's like when you're ordering your food, you ask for your food, you put the order in, and then you take your receipt and you wait. You know that it's coming. You know that you're not going to get 3 hours later. I mean, what you manifest will take a different time frame. However, once you put your order in and you energetically buy into it, whether it's financially, whether it's through time or action, you know that your order is going to come. So trust in that. It's like if you plant a seed, you're not going to constantly take that seed out and be like, are you growing yet? Why aren't you an apple tree? No, you're going to put it in, you're going to water it, and you're going to wait for it to grow. But you're going to know, because you're watering it and you're checking on it, and you're seeing little bits and you're feeling and visualizing and doing what you need to do, that you're going to get delicious apples. It may take a few years, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes it doesn't take a few years. Sometimes you put in an already germinated, my dad knows how to do this stuff, I don't, but put in already germinated, ready to go tree, and you plant it in and you get apples sooner than you picture. So moral of the story, trust, have faith and trust. Surrender and know that it's going to happen. Like, that is a very crucial one, because if you're not doing that, what are you doing? You're thinking about it not being there. So and doing that, what are you attracting? That it isn't there. So you have to trust and let it go. It will be there. The law of attraction requires action. Sometimes people are like, I'm just gonna attract it. I'm just gonna wait for it to come. Babes, you have to take action. I used to be a spiritual girly that thought that I would just law of attraction things that magically appear. No, you have to take action. What is it that you're wanting to attract? What is the version of you that you need to become? This is, again, we're working with the law of vibration here. However, in order to attract what you desire, you have to take action. And there is a thing called aligned action. So aligned action is going, I want to fill in the blank, think of what you want to do, and then next thing you know, you bump into someone and they start talking to you about whatever it is that you want to do. And then they're like, oh, I know someone that you can talk to, and you get their number. Aligned action is calling that person or messaging that person. When you do that, you're able to attract what you want a lot quicker. If you don't do that, then what happens? You miss the opportunity. And what are you saying to the universe? God, source, spirit, I don't actually want that thing because I'm not taking action to get it. So you have to take action. So we're going to do a process. So closing down your eyes, and you may already know this. You may have already come here today knowing what it is that you're wanting to, what's that one thing, the biggest thing right now that you're deeply desiring, that you're wanting to attract in your life. And again, being honest, like beforehand, being honest with yourself, courageous enough to speak it out. There may be another thing that's safer or easier, but speak, what's that one thing? So close down your eyes, take a deep breath in. And just tune into your heart. Bring your breath all the way down to your heart space. Breathing in. And just sitting in your heart space for a moment and asking yourself, what is the one thing that you're deeply desiring the most right now? If you were to be completely honest with yourself, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Perhaps you know it to be something. What is that one thing? Placing your hand on your heart. And if it's still coming to you, that is perfect. Allow it to land in. Just visualizing your heart space opening and receiving your deepest desire. And if you already can see it, just see yourself going about your day as if you already have it, as if it's already here. How would you wake up? How would you be showing up in the world? What would it feel like? What emotion does it bring? Just seeing yourself having this one thing. Just playing out your days. You may be more clients, it may be a state of being, a way of living, maybe a partner. What would it look like to be in the moment where you know that you have it? That you've received it, that you used the universal laws to create your reality. You got there sooner than you thought. And you think, wow, it really is possible. If you're able to connect with that, if you have something there that you're wanting to attract in your life, just raise your hand. And if you're still tuning in, continue breathing into your heart space. And just reminding yourself it's safe to have your desires, it's safe to be clear on what you're after, what you're wanting out of life, out of the next step for you. If you were to be completely honest with yourself, what do you desire? Just continuing to experience and feel, run through different scenarios. And if you've been able to tune into this, just put your hand up so I can see. Some people need to write. So if you haven't been able to connect in with what it is that you're wanting to attract, just take out a pen and paper if you have one. And then just write out, what is it that I deeply desire? And if you've already done it and you want to do it for more things, write that out too. What is it that you deeply desire? So the first step is to get clear on what we actually desire, what we're wanting to attract, and visualize it. To know what thoughts and feelings we need to think and feel to become the vibrational match, to have heart-brain coherence, that we become electromagnetic beings that can attract what it is we desire. So just journaling on that. We'll take 1 minute to journal of what came up for you, writing it out. And if you're still processing, if you're still connecting in, also just journaling out getting clear on what you desire. Just the one thing. It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing. It can be as micro or macro as you want. What is the thing that you're deeply desiring? And how did it feel? Like Amy said, it felt really freeing, visualizing that life. It's so amazing. Sometimes it can feel scary. When I tune into sometimes when I tune into what I want to attract and the next version or the next version, because I've got multiple that I want to step into. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, that feels big. Do I want to be honest with myself if that's what I desire? Sometimes there is resistance when we visualize and see, and that's okay, because that's the conditioning, that's the past version of ourselves. That's the unconscious mind that's wired for familiarity, that's wired to keep you safe. It's not wired for you to grow and expand past what it already knows. And that's why we need to become conscious to be able to bypass the unconscious. But the first step is always to become aware of what we want to attract. Amazing. So we're going to go into some shares. If anyone wants to share anything, you can pop it in the chat. You can jump off. You can share if you had challenges. Like some people like sharing that they've had the best, most amazing experience. Some people like sharing, like, I actually found that really difficult. And that's also perfect. Like whatever is alive and present for you that you feel like sharing or you want to externally process, feel free.
I went to share and then I got nervous and I was like, freaking get on there, say it.
Get it, girl.
So you won't even know because it's so new, but I am desiring a studio facilitator role that I've just seen open up. There's a new studio opening in New Plymouth. So it'll be a complete change, but I'm desiring for my career to be what I put my focus into. And I feel that's what's going to open up everything else that I desire.
Amazing. Yes. I actually had the download on Monday, maybe Sunday, that I saw you in a group, facilitating a group through Reformer Pilates. And
Yeah.
that was like the expanding of your capacity and holding the groups through the studio to expand your capacity to hold within your business. And then I was like, should I do that?
And then because I've been so quiet and I've been sitting with it.
You've been looking at it. So it's definitely in the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Great. Amazing. It's so good to get clear on what you desire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can attract that.
Yes.
Yeah. So New Plymouth, huh? It was freeing, but would require me to be in a position to quit my big girl job with a big girl salary for a big girl house. For my big girl house, I miss being creative. I wish more than anything to live on the beach or the skin clinic and have my hubby and kids and wake up daily to coffee overlooking the beach before a paddleboard and run. Oh, absolutely. You can totally create that life for yourself. And it requires, your new life will require your old life. That is what you give up. In order to step into your new life, you are required to be able to, and it's what I call an identity shift, and an ego death. You're required to actually let go of that past version of you in order to become the next version of you. And it's creating a whole new energetic blueprint, what we spoke about previously. It's like the mindset, like shifting your mindset to be able to believe that you can 100% have that. And what if this was your big girl job? What if what you've been thinking is actually you playing small? And this next version of you is requiring you to step into a bigger version of yourself. No more concrete jungle. Yeah. You can totally have that. I have a beautiful family of my own, loving husband who takes care of me, and I'm in my family. It's so beautiful. Absolutely. And how did it feel to connect in with that?
Fucking amazing. I connect in with it all the time.
She's in the attraction of it. That's so great. Yes, we love it. Amazing. And it's so beautiful to see that shift of just coming into your feminine and being ready for that. So I love this. Amazing. So now we're going to go into the next one. So the law of vibration, everything is energy in motion. So the law of vibration teaches you that thought, emotion, word, and objects carry a frequency. Everything has frequency. So when you like zoom, like when you put your hand under a microscope, when you zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, it's subatomic particles, which is like just moving energy. It's space. And so there is something like if you put the world and the matter of the world, so you like condense it down, it's actually like a ice cube. We're made up so much more. I don't know how to explain that properly, but we're made up so much more of energy than physical matter. It's just our brain needs to be able to process it in a linear way so it shifts for us to be physical matter. But really, we are energy. That's why you feel things before you know in the physical reality, like you get like this inkling, like intuition. That is because you are an energetic being. So your thoughts create an emotional vibration. So your thoughts, you can have for instance, we'll use Nicole. She had a thought of her beautiful family and a loving husband. That will create a vibration, an emotional vibration of love, which is a high frequency state. Now, if Nicole was then talking about as if she didn't have it, it would create an emotional vibration of sadness or grief or jealousy if someone else has it. So your thoughts, what you think about, create a emotional vibration within you, which then becomes a signature, a signal which you broadcast out to the world. So thinking about what you're wanting to attract, how you feel about it in your body, then brings it in. So like what I said, if you're thinking about whether you have it or you don't have it, that's what's going to actually bring in what you attract because of the emotional vibration that you're pushing out into your Taurus field, which is your energetic field. So your emotional vibration sets your energetic tone. I like to call it your energetic blueprint, which is a combination, again, of I like to repeat this all the time, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions. Your energetic tone attracts matching experiences. So by the law of vibration, like vibration attracts like vibration. So think about when you're around someone that is super negative and you're in a really good mood and you're like show up and you're like, yeah, da, 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 da. And that person's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I don't actually like want to be around this person. Or if you're in like a really like sad, like say you've just gone through a breakup and someone turns up and they're like, whoa, let's go. You're gonna be like, excuse me, I don't want to be with you right now because you're vibrating at a different frequency. You do not match. Now, the person with the strongest energetic tone will set the tone, the vibrational match. So you'll either push away from that person, you'll distance yourself, or you guys will come into harmony and you'll match each other's energetic tone. So the person with the strongest energetic tone or energetic blueprint will win. So if you're in a relationship and you're with someone that is always negative, that you will unconsciously, particularly for women, because women, we naturally are the ones that submit and masculine leads. So you will naturally submit to the masculine in order to be taken care of or to avoid being abandoned. So if you're with someone that is always negative and you're positive, over time that's going to wear off on you and you may become more negative because you're the law of vibration, you're using the law of vibration, you're starting to vibrate at the same frequency. So you're always broadcasting a signal and you can pick up on that when you're around other people. So notice it tomorrow when you go and if you go and get a coffee, like what is the energetic tone that person is putting off? When you get on a call with someone, or you meet a customer, or you're meeting with a client, like be aware of others' energetic tone and also reflect on yours too. Like how are you meeting that person? How are you leaving that person? Who was left on a higher or lower frequency? Become aware of it, tune in, and it's about how you feel. It's the simplest way to do it. Do I feel better, or do I feel less? Do I feel more tired after being around this person? Okay. So this is the example of, or a chart of, the emotions and how they carry frequency. They're measured in hertz frequency. So this is used through multiple different ways. This is used with measuring emotions. It's also used with sound healing. Different energy healing modalities will operate at different hertz frequencies. So hertz is how we measure the speed of the frequency. So if you look at the bottom, things like shame, guilt, apathy, grief, they're very much connected into the ego, which is the I self, and they operate at a low frequency. Anything along here, if it is held onto for a long period of time, you're operating at a lower frequency. Lower frequency is slower moving, and it can cause and lead to, when you look at it through physical, it causes dis-ease in the body, which is disease. So a lot of people that have long-term illnesses, when you look at it through energetics and the connection between energetic body and the physical body, it's an unprocess of the lower vibrational frequencies. And then you've got like the linear, the mind, which is really like things that you can perceive to be in control of, which is like fear, anxiety, desire, cravings, anger, hate, pride, scorn. These are, again, still a low frequency, a little bit more up than the ego. However, they're still going to keep you stuck. You're not going to be moving forward. You're looking at life as it's happening to you rather than through you. And then we go through to the spiritual reality, which is you start to see that life is happening through you and you become the creator. So that's when you step into courage, empowerment, trust, willingness, optimism, acceptance, forgiveness, reasoning, and understanding. These are higher frequencies, and they support you to become the creator and to bring in more positive things into your life. And then you've got like the highest frequency, which is enlightenment and inspiration. Love is pretty up there. Having gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can have. So if you're an artist or you're into being creative, getting into that flow state, you're actually getting into a really high frequency. So this is going to support you. So just when you're like, think of when you're creating something, whatever it is you enjoy creating, or Nicole, when you're on the Pilates or Pilates board, is what we call it. And Ari, when you're doing yoga, or if you're painting, or if you're listening to music, if you're dancing, that is when you're in a flow state, you're in an enlightened state, you're in the state of inspiration, and this is where you are just moving through life and receiving life at the same time. You're simultaneously creating and receiving, and this is like an enlightened state. It's what monks get to. I don't know why I said monks like that. It's what monks get to, that an enlightened state of being is when you're just like, it's almost like you're existing and not existing at once. So you're experiencing everything and nothing simultaneously. So that's a really good one to take a photo of if you aren't aware of like different hertz frequencies, to just see where you're at within your frequency. So the ego is like, you have to prove yourself. It's the I am this, I am that. The linear mind is like, this is what's happening around me. This is life. This is like, oh, how do we create our own reality if this is happening to me? That sort of thing. And spiritual reality is a little bit more optimistic. It's open. There's understanding of others. It becomes we rather than you and me. It's like the linear is very you and me, and then the spiritual is we, like you and me together, and then the enlightened is us. It's looking at everybody as a whole being. It's looking at the global, everyone globally. So you're not just thinking about your small crowd anymore. You're thinking bigger, more expansive. Whoa. So your emotional state indicates the frequency you're vibrating at. So be aware of your thoughts that create your emotions. So your thoughts are what you're attracting, and then your vibration is the frequency that you're putting out that you're bringing back. Practice tuning into your emotional state regularly and shift lower states. So this whole thing isn't about always staying up in that higher frequency. That isn't realistic. As humans, we're here to have a human experience, which is experiencing the highs and the lows. However, we want to be able to create our lives in a way where when we feel a emotion that is of a lower frequency, to actually process it, to actually go through it. And that's how you shift your state. You actually feel it, you allow it to be present, to be seen, and then you can shift it. Then you can do something like dancing or singing or movement or journaling or going outdoors, whatever it is, to shift that lower state into a higher frequency. So it's about being aware first and then being present and then moving through it. So it's not about always being positive. Like the spiritual people that are always positive, we're not going into shadow work right now, but they've got a massive shadow that they haven't been able to meet. So it's like being able to still meet that part of you that has the anger, the sadness, the guilt, the shame, whatever it is, like that person, that part of you exists, and it's okay to love and feel and allow that to be seen. However, to stay in it and to project it onto others isn't okay. So it's like being aware, tune into your emotional state, tune into how you're feeling, and then shift it if you need to. So your thoughts and feelings and unconscious beliefs create your energetic blueprint. So your unconscious beliefs, again, what we spoke about earlier, that is what is ingrained in you from the ages of 0 to 7. So if you're wanting to attract a new Amy, for instance, if you're wanting to attract a new career path, if you have a fear of failure, that something's happened in the past where you're deemed that to be a failure, and that's now become a belief that is ingrained in your energetic blueprint, that's going to prevent you from moving forward. So every time you think of creating that house and all those things, there is a look that you'll feel in your body that there is somewhere that's like, ugh. And if you go into that, it may be a fear of failure, or it may be I'm not good enough, or there is multiple wounds. Like a lot of us have similar wounding, because we're all the same, but we're different. But there is multiple wounds that people have that prevent you from taking the step forward, or prevent you from actually attracting what you desire. Because if you're feeling something in your body, so you're going, I want to attract that, but then when you think of attracting it and you feel in your body this tension of like that's unsafe, then you won't bring it into your reality. So that's really, you want to shift your energetic blueprint in order to be able to step into that next version of self, in order to create the identity shift. So you be the person that does go paddleboarding in the morning, that is able to tell themselves, like, it's actually okay to create an expansive life that allows me to paddleboard and be present with my husband and children, as well as being successful in business and receiving money from that. You can have both. However, if there's a unconscious belief programmed, it may be preventing that from happening. Does that make sense? Yeah. What is everyone, like, where are you at? Pop in the chat. In terms of what you're wanting to bring in, what is the current the current vibrational frequency of it? Like, are you currently in like, ooh, we like to call it a little butt clench sometimes, like you clenching in your body, like when you think of it? Or are you like, I'm open, I'm trusting, I'm receiving, I'm safe? Are you like, fuck yeah, I deserve that? Or are you like, oh, am I worthy? Is it possible for me to create that? Like, what is the current frequency that you're putting out of what you're wanting to create? So we've got Ari, I'm not sure what your one was. And while you do that, I'm going to continue on timing. Oh, okay. Sorry, we're making time. So the law of vibration works directly with the law of attraction. I've said this before, so we're going to go on to that. I have surrender and trust. Cool. And so working with energy, this is what we're going into right now, is it actually works somatically with your body as well. So it's not just like energy in the field, it's like it shows up in your body, because emotions are energy in motion. If you have an emotion that hasn't been processed, it's going to be stuck in the body. So that's how you go through it somatically. Somatics is like connecting in the mind and the body together. This fear of failure is my biggest thing about moving away from where I am currently at, and the path I'm on immediately gives me a ping of fear. Yeah. So that frequency that you're putting out is like, so you're going, I want to attract this life, and then the energy you're putting out is going, fear. I want to attract fear. And so if you're thinking of it, then it's going to be fear. Yeah. So that's something that will be, in order to be able to create and step into that next version of yourself, be able to, one, process the fear of failure or whatever that fear is, so you can take that next step forward. Yeah. Which sounds big. It's very common. A lot of the women I work with have that. Yeah, so tuning in energetically. So you've kind of just done that. So feel in your body, close down your eyes and think of the one thing that you are focusing on in this call today. What is that thing that you are wanting to create for yourself, whether it's the life, the lifestyle, the partner, the wife, the new expansion in your career or location. Just tuning into that. Where do you feel it in your body? Go into the space where you feel energy, where you feel, just allow your mind, your unconscious mind, to go to the place in your body where you feel it. When you arrive there, just tune into that. What is present? If you were able to give it a name, what emotion would it be? Or what does it feel like? Is it a color? Is it a shape? Is it dense? Is it light? Is it fluffy? Like, what is, just tuning in energetically, what is there? Just breathing in and coming back when you're connected in. So what does orange mean to you? What does the color orange represent for you? So just observing what you notice. You can write it in the chat if you'd like, what came up. It's very normal to feel discomfort, particularly for something new and you haven't done any work around, or it's something that you haven't done any work around the beliefs or blocks or anything. But one great way to process is to feel into it and actually allow yourself to hold the discomfort of the expansion. Mine was pink and fluffy like a cloud. It felt light and expansive. Nice, exciting. So we're going to go into the law of correspondence. You can continue sharing as well. You don't have to stop. So the law of correspondence is as above, so below, as within, so without. So your external world is a direct reflection of your internal consciousness, your beliefs, your values, your emotional patterns, your self-image. So the way you perceive yourself, a yellow sun and smiley faces in it. the way you perceive yourself, you will equally perceive the world to be. So nothing appears in your life first without existing in your mental or emotional pattern. Can you see a theme here today of like how these laws all link in to you and the way you think, the way you feel? Like you are the creator because of your energetic blueprint. So your internal beliefs play out. If someone repeatedly experiences relationship breakdowns, financial instability, feeling unseen or unsupported, so these, you're not receiving these because life is shit and life is like, why does bad things always happen to me and good things happen to this person? It always seems so easy for this person. It's not that. It's that the universe is saying, hey, this is within you. You need to clear this up. So if your relationship's breaking down, perhaps you feel like you're not lovable, or perhaps you haven't been able to learn how to communicate, or whatever it is that has been presented to you. If there's financial instability, perhaps you don't have the nervous system capacity to be able to hold it, or you haven't worked on your unconscious belief with money, whatever it is. So anything that is happening is not happening to you, it's happening through you, because you already have it within yourself. So you're creating it outside of yourself. And Ari, this is very similar to what you perceive, the law of perception is projection. So it's that your outer world is revealing your inner world, where you're needing to bring your awareness. So how is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why am I being presented? Oh, this is just the next thing for me to love about myself. Any trigger, anything that triggers you, due to the law of correspondence, is just the next thing for you to love and accept and move through about yourself. So life is really just a mirror. So things that are reoccurring, the themes that reoccur and the patterns are just internally mirroring what's happening inside. So until you shift what's internal in your heart and your feel in your body, as well as, this is why I like work holistically, because it's not just your thoughts, it's also stored in your physical body. You felt the energy in your body. It wasn't your mind, it was in your body. So it's like being able to go within, both in your mind, which is like doing the journaling, doing all of that stuff, but being able to go deep into the unconscious to be able to reprogram, so then it reflects a different reality. Your circumstances are not random, they are feedback. It's the same thing as failure. Failure is never failure. It's always feedback. It's just, there is no such thing as failure. The only way to fail is to not do it. So whenever you try, if you try launching a new business and it fails, perhaps it's just that you didn't set up the foundations correctly. If you're in a relationship where you're feeling unfulfilled, that it's just feedback that you're needing to share your wants, needs, and desires. Maybe you're needing to get clear on your wants, needs, and desires yourself. So everything is just a feedback loop to what is needing to be worked on. This is very simple and very complex, because when you put it into practice is when it is, like right now, it's like I'm repeating myself. It's like so within, so without. It's just a mirror. It's just feedback. But it's like, how can you have this ingrained so deeply that when something shit happens to you, that you don't become the victim, you actually look at it and go, what is this presenting to me? What part of myself am I not seeing in this situation? Where is the mirror here? How have I created this? Oh, it fires me up. The universal patterns that repeat across, so there are universal patterns. What happens on a micro level and a macro level they'll be reflected. So what happens in the galaxies, a cosmic boom, a destroying of a planet, a star smashing into something else, that happens on a macro level, and then it happens internally within us too. So the universe is just, we are an expression of the universe, and the universe is expressing itself through us. So what's happening out there is happening in here. So you think of the mudslide at the mount, like that is a grand experience of crumbling and falling down. Like, when have you crumbled and fallen down and cried and released tears? Like, that is nature expressing itself and releasing, and like there is a lot of chaos, destruction, and falling down. However, we have that experience within ourselves too, if we allow it. And if we do not, then we need to, because it's in there. You can't put, there is not enough barricades that you can put up to prevent the crumbling. So the universe will, what you see outside of yourself is happening inside, is on a macro and a micro level as well. It is like, think of the cycles of nature and think of the feminine body. We have a spring, we have a winter, we have a summer, we have a autumn in our seasons through nature. But then through our cycle as women, at whatever time frame your cycle is, between 23 to 33, I think it is, days, majority 27, you have a time where you are in your spring, where you are like out, you're vibrant, you're blossoming. And then you have a time where you're in your, what's like your luteal, where you're autumn, you're falling down, you're needing to go within. Then when you're in your winter, you're needing to rest and reflect. That's when you're on your bleed. You are like nature. You're just nature and the universe experiencing itself. So within, so without. So align your inner state with the experience you wish to have. In order to change your experience, you need to change your inner state. In order to create differently, you need to be differently. And you may have been creating from an unconscious place. You may not have been aware of any of this. You may not have been aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. And that's like the first step, right, is awareness. And then we want to take action. And it's the action that actually brings in and creates change for ourselves. Because you can think about going for a walk every day, but that's not going to help you lose weight. But if you go for a walk every day, then that's the next step. Yeah. So it's like, you want to have different, be different. Be, do, have. What do you want to have? Who do you need to be? What do you need to do in order to create that? Make sure that picture of you. So this is the awareness part. This is where we get to be really real with ourselves. What is it that is preventing you? And some of you have been putting it in the chat already, but what is playing out? And let's go deeper. Like, what did you feel when you tuned in energetically? When you tuned in energetically, what emotions came up? What was behind that? What beliefs are playing out? Or what action are you needing to take? Because if you're not where you desire to be, then what action are you needing to take? Who are you needing to be in order to have? What are you needing to do who do you need to be to do what you need to do in order to have what you desire to have? Be, do, have. It's a really great one to write out. Who do I need to be in order to be able to take the action in order to have what I desire? So it could be, I need to be someone that trusts that they are not going to fail. Or I need to be, or what do I need to do? I need to look at jobs XYZ somewhere. Yes. That I am not enough is a collective, deep-rooted program, because we are taught that if we don't have the latest iPhone, we're not cool enough, we're not good enough. Like, it's so deep-rooted. The subconscious programming of I am not enough is deep. And it's also, again, like these, you can rewire that 100%. I love that. So what are you needing? Who are you needing to be? Imposter syndrome. Golden imposter. That's also a shadow. Shadow work is really great when you combine shadow work and the universal laws. Very good. The imposter is a shadow role that we play out to keep ourselves stuck. So who do you need to be? What are you needing to do in order to have what you desire? If you're at the be stage, that's perfect. If you're at the do stage, that's perfect. Are you needing to be someone that's able to hold what you're, like maybe what you have is right there, but you're not allowing yourself to hold it, the have part, what you want to have. Maybe it's like right there, but you're just falling short because you don't have the capacity. You're not being someone that has the capacity within your nervous system to hold it. Feel like the person is right there, but you're not being the version of you that opens up where it feels the safety. So like, who do I need to be able to have that? Amazing. So I'm going to go into some shares and see some clogs ticking. What's alive for you right now? What are you like realizing like, oh my gosh, like I've been like, it can be in terms of the be do have, or it can be in terms of like the laws of the universe or the beliefs or the thoughts. Like what is really like alive for you right now with everything that we've been through? What are you really like feeling? What's lighting you up? Or what are you learning? Like are you like, whoa, this connects in with the work that I do. I get what I want. I need to believe I am worthy of it. Yeah. To get what I want, I need to believe. Yes. When that lands in your body, that is like fucking game changer. Like when you realize that, fuck, it's so, people say it, and then as soon as it lands in you, something shifts. As soon as that drops in, like you are worthy of it. In order to be worthy of it, you just need to be worthy of it. In order to receive it, you just need to be worthy of it. Yeah. Amazing. If anyone wants to jump off mute, I invite you to do so. Lean into the edges. Share.
I'll jump off mute.
Okay.
What's coming up for me is like really visualizing all parts of it becoming a reality and like surrendering to it as well and knowing that it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
So like I've just got really clear on that from being on this call now. So it's just really, yeah, making it very clear.
And just like allow yourself to like think of the best possible scenario, play with it, like how expansive it could be, how great it could be, what is the most best possible scenario, and think of where it can lead you, and or like just allow yourself to create this whole movie. I remember when I was this thought came up the other day, and it's like, Nicole, you're in a similar position of like you're applying for a job and you're desiring that job, and it's gonna shift things for you. When I think I was 13, and I wanted a job, and my mum was like, why don't you apply for a little, like she worked in a pharmacy, and like, why don't I apply for after school like pharmacy work, just like doing the rubbish and doing like basically pharmacy bitch. But I remember applying for it, and that night I lay in bed and I thought of the money I was receiving. It was like $4.60 an hour, but I was 13 at the time. That was a lot of money. Now I would be like, are you joking? But I remember dreaming about it, and I remember like thinking about like going like, and I was using the law of like attraction and vibration in that moment. And I ended up getting the job, but I would think about like walking there after school and how I'd be able to walk with my friends, because normally I'd have to catch the bus up to the hills, but I'd be able to walk into town. And that was like an experience that I didn't get to have. And I was so excited. And then when I'd get there and I would think about my paycheck and how much money I got, and I would work out how much money I'd get at the end of the week. And it was like $30. And I'm like, it's so great. And like, Nicole, you get to do that. Like when you're in bed at night, just lay in and just think about like what it would feel like to, like, what is New Plymouth like? What would it feel like to wake up in New Plymouth? And what sort of coffee shop would you go to? What sort of people would be around? Like, how much money would you get for your job? Like, what would you wear? What outfits would you wear to like your studio sessions? And just really like think of all possibilities and how, not just having the job, but how your life would look like in that.
Mm.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Visualization gets to be so exciting. I mean, sometimes people think of the worst case scenarios 24/7. Why not think of the best case scenario?
Mm.
Yeah. Amazing.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like that, honestly, and Nicole's going to laugh at me because I feel like I've been Delulu, especially with Philip, for the last however long it's been, which is my new partner. And for so long, the thing that resonated with me is like, so we've been friends for a long time, and then we kind of toyed with the idea of what would it look like if we did actually end up together. And like, from the minute I was just like, not even like, it's been longer that I was thinking about it, but I think maybe 18 months ago or 12 months ago, I was like, I'd marry him and have his babies. And then it's like, when I say like, so the two big things that happened late last year, one is the bigger girl job that I'm stepping into in a week and a half. And the other one is moving away from friendship into a relationship with this guy. And from the beginning, I was just like, yeah, going to get married, have his kids. This is going to be our life. And Nicole was like, are you in love with the idea of him or actually him? And I'm just like, yep, Delulu obsessed. This is what's going to happen. And we've like, in the last couple of weeks, sped through, had all of the conversations about this is what our life's going to look like, where we're going to live. We've named our children. Don't judge me, Nicole. But it's like, none of that scares me at all, but the job part does. And so like, there's certain parts of my life moving forward that I can visualize.
Yeah.
And some that I'm still like, can't do that, not yet.
Yeah. It'd be so great for you to be able to work through that. And it's so beautiful that you have that clear vision, like one part of it's already figured out, which then creates the safety for you to be able to explore the other part, because we need to have a sense of safety to be able to go into it. Yeah. So beautiful. And the clear communication is like starting a relationship off with that, green flag. We love it.
100%, the communication's on point, and it's like, I in 34 years have not had communication of this level, and neither has he, and it's just like, no conversation is a hard conversation.
Yeah.
Which is just so nice.
Yeah. And for the feminine to be able to really shift, like, not all the time, but a lot, I see this with a lot of clients, is like for them to be able to do the real change work and shift in their career, having that masculine support can be really beneficial, because there's a sense of safety. There's a sense of like knowing that they have the foundation at home and they have the masculine to support them, which is like the doer, the action taker, and they're able to go into the being, which is the feminine, the expressing the emotions. So to be able to move through and work through these like fear of failure, I'm not good enough, all of these things, to be able to have someone entering into a partnership where you know that you have that support, it's like you're ready to be able to actually go into whatever's there. Does that make sense? Yeah. Beautiful. Aligned. We love it. Anyone else want to share?
Can you see me?
Yeah. I'm looking at it, I'm like, anyone else want to share?
I thought I'd just share my vision because since the prac room, I have had this little avatar of me, and actually, the photo of me on Instagram is her, and that's why it means so much to me because in the prac room, that's where it started. I got the vision, and I could see her, and I could feel her, and just it was just like amazing. So I've got this, and I always tune into it, and every single day, I feel more like her. I relate to her, and I feel like every step is like going towards that vision. So yeah, I kind of yeah, that's my vision anyway. And yeah, there was other stuff to do with like the future, which would be being fully stepping into her and having a more abundance over all of my life, like a balance of abundance.
And so I feel like you can see who you want to be. And I'm curious to know if you've connected into what you're needing to do in order to have that version of you. Like, what's the next step? You can do, like, you can break it down step by step, but what's like the next thing that you know in order to be her
right now?
Yeah.
It's stepping into teaching my NLP and my clients.
Yeah.
More.
So what's one action that you can commit to doing that would be a stepping stone to doing that?
So for instance, today I tuned into my like why, my bigger why and things like that. And so I did a post on it. And so I was very inspired, and it's just those little things for me.
Yeah. So one thing, when you have a clear vision of who you want to be, Ari, I have a vision of the next version of myself. And I went through one day and I've created like a document where I have like everything, like what is that, who is she, like what is her values, what are her beliefs, and everyone can do this. And what action does she need to take, what are the systems, like, and because mine's connected obviously with my business and yours is as well, like what systems and structures do you need to have in your business in order to have the capacity to be that person. So writing out and getting really specifically clear, like what offerings does she have? Like how does she show up online? Like write your bio as if someone was introducing you to speaking on a stage, like doing all these things. And then so every day you've already got that written out. You can read that daily, or every day when you wake up, you go, what would she do today? What would she do in this moment? Like who is she being? How is she showing up? What action do I like? One thing for me, I live right next to the beach. Do you know how many times I tell myself the beach is too far away? I'm 3 minutes walk from the beach. Like I've never lived so freaking close to the beach. Some days I'm like, oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's too far away. That next version of me walks on the beach every single day, or walks in the laneway next to the beach. And so every time I tell myself an excuse of doing that, I'm like, but who am I being right now? What would she do? So it's like, every time you make a decision, Ari, and everyone else, think of like get clear on what she would do, the action she would take, who she would be, and then whenever you're doing something, taking an action, what would she do right now? Like the other night, I went for my walk, and then I was coming back, and I was like, I need to go to the supermarket and get food, and then I was like, actually, I just want to stop in at GYG and pick up food, and then I asked myself, what would she? And I've had work to do afterwards. What would she choose? And she valued her time over the money. And so I got GYG, which was very nice. I don't know if you guys don't know what GYG is. It's like a Mexican food thing. But so every decision I make at the moment, I'm making it through her. And so Ari, when you do this, like call yourself forward. If you ask yourself, okay, what would she do? If you think about posting something and you get resistance, like what would she do, and call yourself forward, actually do what she would do. And if you take steps every single day to become that version of you, you're in alignment with your life path, you're in alignment with that future version of yourself, you're working with the universal laws, and you're stepping into the next version in the micro moments. You look back in a year's time, you're gonna see that it's the little micro moments that create the macro, that create you to become that version of you. So my invitation for you is to fill out that document or write it all out, and then every single day, every single decision you make, ask yourself, what is this current me or is this future me that I'm becoming?
Yeah, I have started, so yes. Cool. Thanks.
Love it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see more of you. I actually saw your post today and I was like, oh, she's speaking about NLP. Yay, I love it. Serve your mission, girl. Amazing. Perfect. Now, is it okay if I share with you how you can continue working with me further, if you choose to? And if you don't, it's perfect. And some of you are already working with me, so you're welcome. Oh, this is how different stages of transformation. So there's like thinking, and then there's feeling, and then when we bring them together, that's when we actually get to embody the transformation. Just like that. So I have currently a program called Heal, and it is the thing that lights me up. It is, when I channeled this program, it felt huge. It felt big. I actually put off launching it for a whole year because I was like, whoa, the life path that I've been on, I see now that every moment, every challenge I went through, the anxiety, the drug addiction, the near-death experience, everything led me to creating this. This body of work is my life's work. Like, this is what I'm here to do, is this right here. It is allowing women to come home to themselves, to break free of the life that they perceive that is the life for them. It is giving women the permission to create the lives that they desire. And I'll share with you the pillars of the Heal. So it's a 12-week container. So some people continue on, and some people have massive transformation that they're like, I'm good. So it starts off as a 12-week container. So pillar 1 is shadow alchemy, and I don't do this in a when I'm doing Heal. It's not like week 1 is shadow alchemy, week 2. I actually feel into and tune into the group collective, and I teach what is present and alive for everyone in there for that week. So pillar 1 is shadow alchemy. So I've been speaking a little bit about shadows. So we go through and we alchemize your shadow, where you see where your shadow's been playing out, and you're able to shift it and release it so it's not playing out in the background and you're consciously aware. So this shadow work is really big on getting rid of self-sabotage. We do the inner child code. So the inner child code, you connect in with your inner child. You're able to give her the love and her wants, needs that she desires, so she's not playing out. So if you're in a relationship or any state that you're triggered, quite often it's not actually you that's responding, it's the unhealed parts of you, which is your child. So we go through and we heal that and we meet her. It's like, Nicole, I don't know if it's one of your favorites, and I think you said it the other day, that inner child work is like it's very beautiful healing work, because you're able to meet that part of you and just really love and see that cute little virgin. So we do ancestral keys, which is working on through your ancestral lineage. So some things that have been programmed within you aren't actually yours. They are passed down through genealogically, down through your ancestry line. So we go through and we work through that. The embodied pathway, this is where what I showed previously. So, and learning to be able to feel in your body, be able to connect into where things are playing out, and be able to come home to safety in your body. A lot of women have been through some form of trauma with their body, and they've disconnected from their body. So the embodied pathway helps you reconnect with your body, which reconnects you with your feminine, which reconnects you with pleasure, and it's really beautiful. The subconscious gateway is where we did a lot of that in the last heal, which is where you do a lot of reprogramming. You understand and get clear on the beliefs that have been playing out, and you start to reprogram them. We also, throughout the whole journey, you recreate your reality, which for some completely a whole different people coming into heal and coming out of it. And it's like that constant reprogramming through the subconscious pathway that we, honestly, I can't even put it into words how much change some people have had. The creator's seat, this container has been in a showcasing, and we go in on a deeper level into the creator's seat of how you create your life. So we go deeper into the topics that we've talked on today. Not only do we get clear on them, there's actually deeper processes that we go through, and I will again tune into. So what's done in the previous heal may not be done in this one, because it's about what's alive and present for you. However, we work through the mind, body, soul to be able to really create your reality. The magnetic field, this is manifestation. You learn about the electromagnetic field and how that works on a deeper level with you. Rewiring chamber, again, it's the subconscious. And then the soul blueprint is around your purpose and what you're here to do and your soul's gifts. Some people in heal have started to become psychic and without even realizing, and it's really beautiful to see these soul gifts coming online, just like being able to go through and clear out what's there to be able to bring your soul gifts through. So that is the pillars in heal, honestly. And it's just like I could do this over and over and over again, and each time is like a whole different experience. And yeah, I love it so much. So who's curious to know more about this? Put your hand up. So here we go. So it's 12 weeks of support with me, guided coaching and mentorship through your healing journey. So you'll have lifetime access to the Heal Library. So even when you leave the Heal container, like whether it's within 3 months or 6 months, you will be able to go back and keep the resources and practices, as well as the replays for you to revisit as you grow, and that gets updated. So I'm currently working on a few things to put into the Heal Vault. If you have access to the Heal Vault, you can go in and you can access it, and you can have the updated things that are in there. So there is 9 1 hour. I am notorious for going overtime. It's just so much value. So there is, I'm gonna say it's an hour and a half. So there's workshops where we activate, we integrate with each pillar, and there's live guidance and support. So this is where we do a lot of change work, and there's Telegram support because it continues to happen and downloads continue to happen. You start to get things happening in your life where you're presented the test or the reflection, and so the Telegram support's there to help you in between. So that's in a group capacity for accountability, encouragement in between sessions, as well as integration. So there's weekly reflection prompts. I'll put things into the Telegram support. I'll also channel through an email that's sent out, and that's for you to reflect, to journal on, to uncover the patterns, to just continue to step into your next level version of self. Throughout the journey, we really work with breath work, like in a embodied way, as well as embodiment. So it's not like, I'm going to be very transparent, I'm not a breathwork facilitator, but I use breath to be able to help you deepen into the work that you do. So please don't come into it expecting big breathwork journeys. That's not what I offer. It's more like how we began the call, connecting into yourself through breathwork, being able to, if you're having a panic attack, be guided how to use your breath to come out of that if that's where you're at. And then there's embodiment, there's rituals to create lasting transformation, and then there's that vault as well. So as well as the sister community supporting each other, encouraging, sharing, and rising with women that are on their healing journey. So does that sound like something that you would be interested in? Does that sound like it would support you in your journey to be able to release these, like, this fear of failure, or be able to really become the next version of you that you're wanting to become? Yeah. Because sometimes doing the journey alone, we can only go so far. There is only so much that you can do with with a meditation or with a journaling prompt. It's like when it is deep inside you, as you've come across today, these deep imprinted, like, lifetime, what are the words, like, belief systems. When it is that deep, it requires a guide, and that's what heal is. It's the guide that I wish that I had when I was on my journey. It's the guides that I seek when I was on my journey. It's the lessons that I learned that I was like, this has absolutely changed my life. I need to be able to give this to other people. Everything that I have learned throughout my life and my healing journey, I have put into heal. So each week will be a different experience, and you may work with the physical body or with embodiment, or you may work with the mind or the energy body. So the wealth of knowledge that I have received from this life of my trials and tribulations, I've been able to alchemize them, put them into the most beautiful thing that is heal. And for me, heal is your highest evolution to align with love. Like, that's what it stands for me. And like, my invitation to you is to think, like, what is the acronym for you? What does healing actually mean for you? What does it create for you? So for me, I used to be so blocked off to love. And now, since I've healed, I've been able to evolve into the highest version of myself, to be aligned with love in every single moment and every single thing that I do. I love it. It's not just about loving another person, though I love so many people in my life. It's about being able to love the micro moments. And that is what healing has been able to present me. And so my invitation to you is just to reflect, what does heal mean for you? If you were to put it in an acronym, like mine's highest evolution aligned love, like, what does heal mean for you? Something to ponder. So the details. Do you want the details? So because you've shown up today, because you've given your all, I don't know what it's saying for, and you've gone overtime. Oh yeah, this is the 100% guarantee. And I back this so freaking much. And I know the transformation that I give, and I know the transformation that is given in heal, because I've freaking seen it, and you've probably seen it too through people, that if you do not get the transformation, if you do not release old patterns, self-sabotage holding you back, if you're not able to rewire your subconscious blueprint to be more empowered and to have that sense of freedom and to be able to be confident to step into that next version of yourself, there is a 100% guarantee you continue and heal until I am satisfied that you've got the growth, or until you are satisfied. So if I feel like you haven't received what you're needing to, I will say, you can come back in, you can continue in this. Or you will say to me, hey, this is what I was working on. I don't feel like I've got it. And there is that 100% guarantee there. So there is no loss, only gain. You just continue on within heal. So that is my guarantee, because I believe in it so much. And so today, heal normally is 2987, paid in full, 2897. Did I say that back front? But because you are here on this call today, I want to honor you. I want to honor you for taking the time to show up. I want to honor you for, there are people that have said they wanted to be on this call and they haven't. Some are watching the recording, that's perfect, but some didn't register. Some said that they were going to be here and they didn't even take the time to register for themselves. So I want to honor you and offer you the discounted rate of 1997. So this is savings of $900. This is a 24-hour offer. So normally, if that's not achievable for you, I get it. Like, some people cannot pay in full, and that is okay. I've done payment plans a lot within my healing journey. I remember when I first started working with a coach, and it was $12,000, and I was like, how the fuck do I pay that? But thankfully, there was a payment plan. So payment plan for Heal is $150 a week. Now, this is normally 20 payments. However, tonight you get to save $750. And that is with 15 payments. So if you want to lock in either of those rates or you want to check it out, actually, if you want to lock in those rates, take a photo of the QR code. If you're someone that needs to talk to me further, you've got more questions, then send me a message. But if you're like, I just want to sit with it, take a photo of it. If you are like, I'm fucking ready, I know that I'm ready to create my new reality and I want to rewire my beliefs and I know you're the person to support me, then just click one or the other. You can pay in full or you can organize payment plan. If you do the payment plan, it will just be one payment today of $150 to lock in that rate, and then it will be automatically set up. Amazing. Thank you and if you've got any questions, please reach out. I'm here. We won't do it on the call just because of timing, but I'm here to answer any questions or jump on a call as well. Amazing. So last thing for this evening. After today, what are you going to stop, start, and do more of? So what's one action that you're going to
I think you're the host, Ari.
I think I am. Oh,
We've
where's she
lost her.
gone? I was like, host? No, thank you. Oh,
I'd say
no.
she'll be back.
She'll be back.
She'll be back.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to go because I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
Oh,
Nice to meet everybody.
yeah, you too.
See
ya.
ya.
Bye. Have a good evening.
You too.
You too. Bye.
Well, I'm going to go to bed.
I'm going to
too.
jump off too. I will see you in the morning.
All right. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye.